Hi, Sandy here. I have, as you may know by now, a crazy amount of scraps I need to destash because it is taking over my sewing corner. And at the same time, I have a friend I love very much and her birthday is coming up. So I figured I could join these two very important facts together. There are so many goodies here, I don't really know where to start. It's an awesome Christmas gift, something to take with you when you travel, or just a beginner level sewing project you will love to make. I think we're about to have a lot of fun together, so let's go. These are the strips I pulled from my stash for this project, and I need enough to make a 16 by 12 inch rectangle for the outside of our pouch, okay? And the way I have chosen to do this, so the 12 is the length of the pouch once it's finished, and the 16 is actually what's going to make our pouch tube, okay? And the way I've selected is 12 by 16, which means when you're holding the pouch, the strips will be horizontal, okay? So if you want the strips to be vertical and all around the pouch, you need to make each strip 16, and you need enough to make 12 inches in total for the length. We will also need a fabric for the inside in the same size, so 12 by 16, and you probably know how much I love this fabric. It is one of my favorites. Also, you can use some fusible batting for this. It will make your life a lot easier, but I'm not going to. So I have my cotton quilt batting right here because, you know, it's what I had for my quilts. So cotton, 100% cotton batting, 16 by 12 inches, just as this fabric below, okay? Now let me make this clear. You can make this any size you want, of course, you know, bigger or smaller. You can make it a small pencil case, or you can make it a large makeup bag, or something even larger like this huge toiletry bag or something like that. Just adjust the sizes accordingly and you're good to go. Okay, other than that, we will also need a 3 by 10 inch strip of fabric. This is longer, of course, for the outside handle and the tab. And as far as waterproofing goes, we have several options here, okay? You can either pick an inside fabric that's laminate, so already waterproof. And right now there are just so many cute options out there to pick from. I love laminate fabric. I work with it all the time. You can buy a thin plastic film, and I have one right here. Let me show you. And just add it to the inside fabric. And what you do essentially is you sew around the borders before adding it to the pouch. And since this is a really thin layer, you just handle the two the same way you would if you were just handling the one fabric. You can also turn your inside fabric into a laminate fabric, which is what I'll be doing with this little roll right here. Now this is Eton Bond, and I have to say I love this brand. I use it for appliques, as you know, and I also use this when I want to make laminate fabric. This is vinyl, iron-on vinyl. This is gloss. You also have matte. Now I use this for beach pillows and placemats and stuff like that, and I'll just add a link in the description if you want to check it out, okay? But first things first, let's make our outside rectangle by sewing all these strips together. And I actually like what we have going on here. No, let me switch this one by this one. This one will be underneath the pouch. So the yellow with the green. Yeah, this one has so many different colors. I think I'll leave it like this. So this is the part that will be closest to our zipper, and I'll show you what it looks like in a while. Let's just sew these strips together. And yes, we could just be adding all the strips to the batting and do a little bit of quilt as you go, but I want to create a really cute quilting pattern for this outside, so I'm not doing that today, okay? But you totally can, and saves you time too. Okay, so this is our rectangle right here. It's now trimmed, it's not pressed, so that's what we're doing next. Guys, I'm loving how colorful this looks right now. This is over 12 inches in length. I am fully aware of that, but I'm not going to worry about that right now, because right now we are going to quilt, and then I will trim off all of the excess, okay? But I'd rather have extra fabric than not enough, so I prefer to overdo it. Okay, this is looking gorgeous already. So I'm not going to actually use the safety pins. I'm just going to pin this regularly because it's such, you know, a small amount of fabric. If it were like a quilt, I would not advise you to just pin it. You could use like the adhesive, the spray adhesive, or you can use some real safety pins to keep them in place. So yeah, I'm going to do free motion quilting to this one. I had already told you that at the beginning, and I think that the added touch I need that really makes a difference from the rest, and I think it will be really, really cute. But you could quilt this in several ways that would look really, really good. Like, you know, you can do these horizontal lines, you can do vertical lines, you could do diamonds, which makes it look really, really posh, really, really luxurious. So yeah, there are several options you could pick that would make this look absolutely gorgeous. And you know, with these fabrics, it's already gorgeous, so you don't really have to work very hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, switch my presser foot, and I will be right back to quilt this lovely thing. Okay guys, this is nice and quilted, and how cute, how absolutely stinking cute does this look. Okay guys, this means our outside is done, and next step is to laminate our inside fabric. Okay, so this is our fabric, this is our vinyl, this is our medium heat iron, okay? Don't use it in max, it is too potent for this vinyl. So first thing we do is we peel off this vinyl from the protective layer, okay? And I don't know if you guys do this where you're from, but to me, this kind of reminds me when we were starting school and we needed to laminate our books to make them last a little bit longer, to make them last all year really. So we would do something like this. So we just slowly, clearly haven't done this in a while, but yeah, it is working. So we slowly, slowly, slowly remove the paper, add it on to the fabric, and look how gorgeous this is going to be, and done. Now we get our protective paper back, shiny side facing our vinyl, and we cover it up to make sure it doesn't melt with the iron. Oops, no. Oh gosh. Yeah, I was forgetting about something really important. And now we just press this in place. I always do one do-over, one really quick do-over, and then I go over the spots a little bit more carefully to make sure I didn't miss anything. If you have a bigger iron, it's probably best to use it. So they say we should leave it about 8 seconds in the same place before moving on. So let's see what we've got. Oh, it's looking gorgeous already, but I really need these corners to be nice and glued. So, and guess what? We are done. And this really is as simple as it gets. So inside is done, outside is done, and now we need to work on our zipper. You can use any regular zipper, of course, but since I use so much of this stuff, mine comes in a roll. So I always like to leave an extra gap so I can have my slider outside from where I'm sewing, and that way I don't need to have to move it around as I sew my zipper on. So yeah, about 13 inches. Now guys, I love these kind of zippers. I used to be terrified of them, of course, but since I've learned how to insert the slider, everything just came together, and now I love them. Let me show you how easy this is, okay? Okay, so we need to insert the slider here, right? We get this part in and this part in. Some people use like a bended fork. I'm pretty sure there are tools for this, but this is just what we need. And we get to the other side. And that's it. Do you see how this absolutely, and now we lock it in place. If we do it like this, we need to have it unlocked as we are pulling on the tabs, or this won't move. Did you see how easy this was? It really is this easy. And it's not just easy for me because I do it a lot. It really is easy, okay? Give it a try, you won't regret it. These kinds of zippers are just so much cooler to work with. But again, any zipper is okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert our zipper. So we put our top fabric right side up. We put our zipper facing down. And now our lining facing down as well. And now we just pin the whole thing, okay, closest to the edge as we possibly can. You can, if it helps you, pin one layer at a time. So you would pin the zipper first to make sure it doesn't move, and then you would go ahead and pin the inside of the pouch. You do as it is most comfortable and easier to work for you. Okay guys, so now we get our zipper presser foot, and this is mine, and we are going to sew along this edge of our zipper. We can't really sew it too close to the teeth because we need to open and close it, right? So do this as slowly as you need it, no rush. This is kind of a delicate operation, and since I made my zipper longer than the fabric, I can just get this slider out of the way, as you can see. But if you're using a zipper that's the exact size of your fabric, then you need to play with it, you know, to make sure that it is out of the way as you sew. You open your zipper to the middle, sew until you reach it, then stop, then you push your zipper back, you know, you close your zipper, and then you continue, okay? Don't try sewing over the zipper. You will break either the zipper or your needle, or you know, you will get like this hump. That's really unnecessary. All you need to do is stop, you know, put your presser foot up, close the zipper back, and then you have all the sewing space you need, okay? So let's go ahead and sew. So this part is over the teeth, and this part over here is, you know, nestled near the teeth of our zipper. Needle down, and let's sew it. You can always feel our teeth in place. Make sure it's not going anywhere. So this part is over the teeth, this one is leaning, you know, resting near it, next to it actually. Almost there. Okay, so this is what we have, and as we unfold this in the right order, this is the back of our pouch, the inside really, and this is the outside of our pouch. Look how cute this is looking. So now we are going to press this on the outside, okay? No pressing the laminate, not unless you have a really big protection. And I'm not using my wool mat because this is a really thick layer, but if yours isn't, go ahead and use that, okay? Because now what we're going to do, now that it's all nice and straight, what we're going to do is we are going to sew a line to make sure we keep our fabrics in place and nothing will move. This time we are going to keep our, so the zipper, so the presser foot is over the teeth, this part is leaning, is really next to the teeth, making sure we are following them in place, and this part is over our fabric. Okay guys, so this is what this looks like. Okay, so now to take care of the other side of our zipper, we need to get back into the position we were earlier. So exterior, zipper, and backing. So you see, we have two separate, completely separate layers. And now we need to pin this in place, you know, just like we did the first time. And now we're just going to sew again, and as you can see, just so there's no mistake, we have two tubes, okay? The backing, the interior tube, and the exterior tube, okay? So let's sew these again. Okay guys, this is what this looks like, double-sided. Now, we need to do the exact same thing we did for the other side, you know, to sew this in place. So let's go ahead and open our zipper. Now's the moment of truth. Now we get to know if we have sewn over something important. Now making sure that this doesn't, oh it did, crap. Okay, not a problem. So now we need to turn this around. And as you can see, I have released my slider. That's okay. Okay, so now we need to just sew along this edge just like we did for that one. Since I'm assuming you are going to use a regular zipper, let me just put the slider back in place. So I will do it the same way you will be doing it. It's much easier to do it this way, right? You can split it, but with a regular zipper, that's not what you get. So I just want to do the exact same thing you will be doing. See how easy this is? So up until this point, we really need to be careful when we're moving our zipper not to catch the laminate. After we've sewn what we're about to sew, we won't have a problem, but before we do, the laminate will move and it may be caught on the zipper, so be careful about that, okay? You know, with a regular zipper that will be stuck on both ends, that will be caught on both ends, it will definitely be a little bit more difficult to sew than we did this first one, but not impossible, okay? So let's just go ahead and sew. Yeah, so this is what it looks like, guys. How cute is this? How freaking cute is this? It's a really cute little tube. I love it. Now before we continue, let's just make our handle and our tab. Okay, so this is our 3x10. We just need to press it in. Let's just make sure it's nice and straight, and then we do the same on the other side. And now we press it in half. So now that this is in half, we are just going to sew all along the edge on both sides. I prefer it on both sides. You know, one would be enough, but I think it looks better, you know, more balanced if it's on both sides, okay? I'm just gonna pin it so I don't have to hold it in place during the entire time. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is what we got. Now we need to cut a 2-inch piece off, and that'll be our tab. Okay, so this is our tab, this is our handle. So we're just going to fold our tab in half, and we are going to pin it to the right side of our zipper. Okay, so now we need to get back to where we were with the 2 tubes, okay? Before we continue, let's just go ahead and unfold this. And we're doing this essentially because we do not want the corners, you know, when we do the corners, we don't want it to be noticeable. We don't want it to be seams or anything like that. So now we get our tab, and we are going to stick it on to the right side of our pouch. Look at that mix of fabrics, guys. I love it. Okay, so now that we have added the tab, we're just going to machine baste it, okay? Making sure it will not move. So let me just do that real quick. We need to get the backing out of the way, okay? We don't want to sew it into the backing. This is just for the outside. Okay, so this is our tab, and it's looking pretty gorgeous, if I may say so myself. We are looking at the back of the laminate fabric, right? And so we are going to flatten it with our zipper in the middle. So let me just close it. We need to make sure this is nice and in the middle, okay? And now we need to pin both layers together. Now, this may kind of seem like a delicate operation, and it is in the sense that you need to be, you know, precise about it, but it's not as complicated as it will seem. I can promise you that, okay? So, both edges together separately. So, right sides together, all the way separately. Inside fabric, outside fabric. Okay, 2 different tubes. Okay, so now using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, we are going to stitch our sides together, okay? So first, we stitch this layer and this layer over here, and then we go for our backing layers, okay? now that we have done this, our next step is to draw 1.5 inch squares on each corner, and then we will cut them out. Now remember, we are doing this on all 8 corners, okay? 4 for the exterior layer and 4 for the interior layer. And yes, we will be cutting the seam we just sewn, but don't worry. Once these corners are back up, this is the first seam will be nice and protected. Okay, so 1.5 squares on each corner, okay? And then we are going to cut them on all our layers. And if your outside is a little bit bigger than your inside, like mine is, just follow the inside, okay? You can cut 1 layer at a time if you want. Be careful when you reach those corners. You don't want to go over them. So now let's take care of our handle, okay? We are going to sew it on the opposite side of where we sewn our tab, so the left side. We are just going to bend it into a loop, and we are going to put it inside on the right side of the exterior piece, okay? We're going to align our edges with the loop facing in, like we did with the tab. Okay, so we just want to put it right here in the middle, just like we did with our tab. So this is our handle. We are putting it in the middle, right about where this meets, and we are pinning it in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and pin it. And now we can go ahead and close the entire corner. We are just going to sew a straight line through it. So we're just going to pin it all in place. And now we are going to go on the other side and do the same thing. And if we need to trim off the excess of our handle, that's fine. Just make sure it's in the right, in the right way. We don't want it to twist inside. That would be a pain. Trust me, you do not want that. Okay, so let's just do the same thing on this corner. And I think I'm going to leave a little bit of excess, not too much. And we do the exact same thing. We pin this. And now we close our corner. We want this right in the middle of the corner, okay? So these are the 2 corners we are going to sew. Okay guys, so now that we have closed these 2 corners, we are going to close all 7 corners. And so we are just going to leave one of the lining corners open so that we'll be able to turn it all inside out, okay? Let me just trim off this excess here, because we don't need the bulk when we are turning it all inside out. Okay, so we have closed 7 out of 8 corners. This is what this looks like. Doesn't look like much right now. And now we get to turn it inside out through the corner that we left open. It isn't very big, I know that. This is really bulky. So please, 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 just be really, really careful about it. Okay, we need the zipper to be open. And we just need to start pushing stuff through this hole. Oh God, I'm nervous. I don't want to rip this. Okay, let's just do it. Okay, yeah, let's just get it over with. Have I told you I'm on Instagram? I am. I have created the So Easy by Sandy account. There's just so much I want to share with you about. Oh God, I'm ripping it. No, I'm not. So yeah, on the So Easy by Sandy Instagram account, I share like behind the scenes. I share a little bit about my life, my pets, my daily routine, that sort of thing. But mostly, yeah, behind the scenes, some quick projects, some reels, cute project reels. So yeah, if you'd like to know more about me, just stop by and say hi. Okay guys, almost there. Oh, we did it. I don't think I ripped any of it. Let me just get the corners right. I think we did it. I think we did it, guys. I am stoked. I haven't done this in over a decade, I think. I used to do so many of them. So many of them. I used to do so many a day, actually. So, yeah. Now, if by any chance your vinyl, you know, got loose from the fabric with what we did, mine did not, just go ahead and, you know, turn it around again. This is easy because, you know, it's through the zipper, so it should be fine. And just iron it a little bit more to keep it in place. So before we finish and we sew and we close the corner that we have open together, we just need to make sure that all our corners are nice and sewn, that it's all in place, and that you don't need to go back and, you know, sew it shut. This is your final chance of doing that. This is what our pouch looks like. It is very, very cute. I love the colors. I love the details. The handle did great. So did the tab. Everything is nice and perfect. So all we need to do is one last seam to sew and close our inside. Okay guys, so for closing our final corner, this is nice and battered. It would be, it's expected. We just turn our raw edges in, just like that. We form a straight line and we just sew through it. And this is the only seam you will see on the inside. Now, if you find that it's hard to work with laminate on your machine, you'll probably want to get one of those Teflon feet. Have you seen one? These plastic ones? These are the ones I use to just sew through laminate without any kind of difficulty, without any kind of resistance, really. Now, if you don't own one of these plastic presser foot, these Teflon presser foots, that's okay. You can just add a little strip of wax paper, you know, between the presser foot and the lining fabric, okay, or the laminate fabric you're using in whatever project. Then, after it's all sewn, just rip the wax paper, you know, throughout the seam, and you're done. So you don't really need one of these, okay? Okay, guys, so final step, just pushing the lining inside the bag, and we are done. Our box pouch is ready to go. How cute does this look? The fabrics are gorgeous. And you know, the box part of this project, I think, works like a charm. Just hold it like this. You can take it anywhere, nice and cozy on the outside, waterproof on the inside. What more can we want? Guys, this is really, really cute. I had forgotten how fun this was to make. Thank you for doing this with me, guys. I hope you had fun. I know I had a blast, and I will see you really, really soon. Bye-bye.